Hello mates, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be doing something that I thought lots of you out there might find a bit interesting and might give you a bit of an idea of how much 2 tattoo sleeves might cost you. Obviously prices may vary. So I'm going to be telling you exactly how much I've spent on tattoos and how much each piece cost me. So obviously I have 2 patchwork sleeves going on. Right now I'm 28 years old, and like most people in the UK, I got my first tattoo at 18, so I've been getting tattooed for 10 long years now. Now I personally see getting tattoos as being a bit of an investment, as pretentious as that might and hopefully does sound. They're going to be with you for life, and I always think of it as my tattoos are going to outlive me, so that every penny that I spend on them, they're worth it. Or that's how I tattoo math myself into convincing myself they're actually not even expensive really when you think about it. So most of my tattoos, they're on my arms. Check out my most recent tattoo tour for a more kind of extended look at the pieces that I've got. Although since I filmed that video, I've got more tattoos. It never ends, does it? So without further fucking about, you're all absolutely gagging to know how much dosh I've splashed on all these tattoos, aren't you? So let's get into this. I'm going to be trying to talk about these in the order that I got them as much as I can with my, not so good memory. So first up on my arms, I got this pin-up girl that's right here. I went to a scratcher for this one who also did my chest, and he did a pretty crappy job, to be fair, on my pin-up girl as well as on my chest. So about 1.5 years later, after I initially got this tattoo from the scratcher, I then had to go and get it fixed by another artist who actually knew what they were doing. So to Mr. Scratcher, I paid 250 quid first time around for 4 hours of tattooing, and then to get it fixed by Aaron Fitchett, who works at Gold Irons Tattoo Club in Brighton, I paid £320 for another 3 hours of fixing. So all in all, I paid £570 for this one. Then in 2017 is when I decided, okay, let's start to get this sleeve thing going now, and I went back to Aaron Fitchett at Gold Irons and I got the mum heart that is on my left bicep and the swallow that is below it. I got both of these in the same session for my 21st birthday. They took about an hour each and they cost me £80 each, so £160 in total. Then I went back to Aaron and I got this kind of Sailor Jerry inspired greaser that I've got here, and that took 2.5 hours and cost £250. And then a few weeks after that, I decided to move on to my right arm. It was starting to feel kind of a little bit naked in comparison to my left arm, and I got this Sailor Jerry piece as part of a Sailor Jerry Flash Day by Aaron Fitchett, once again at Gold Irons, and it took just over an hour and cost £100. Then later in 2017, I was looking at my left arm and going, okay, I'm starting to fill up nicely now, but I need to move on to the inside of my arm. So I went back to Aaron and I got this clipper ship tattoo. This one took pretty much 2 hours on the dot and it cost £160. Then if we fast forward to 2018, I decided to start filling up my right arm some more from the top down, and I got this lady head on my bicep. This one was a pretty long session. It was about 5 hours and it cost £360. Then under the lady head in late 2018, I then got this panther head by Aaron. This one took about 3.5 hours and it cost £320. After that, we're then going to 2019. I wanted to fill out the space that I had on my wrist here as well as my elbow ditch. So I went back to Aaron and I got this flower filler and this True Love heart. The heart took about 2.5 hours and the flower filler took about an hour and it cost £320. Then the dreaded COVID hits and I didn't get tattooed for absolutely fucking ages at this point whilst all that shit was going on, so I knew I had some catching up to do. So if we then move to March 2022, I started going to Joey Salvage at Magic Tattoo in Brighton, and I got this mermaid on the outside of my right forearm as well as this Bible dripping blood that's on my wrist. Joey works like super quickly, and the mermaid took just over an hour and the Bible took about 15 minutes, and these as a pair were £300. Then a couple of weeks later, I had this massive gap on my forearm which I wanted to fill, so I went back to Joey, who has done all of my tattoos since, and I got this black Gretsch guitar. This one took Joey a little bit longer as he used a smaller needle than he normally would because of all the little details, the strings and that, so it took a little bit longer. It took about 2.5 hours and it cost me £200. And then another 2 weeks after that, I wanted to continue to fill out the forearm, so I had this awkward little gap above the Gretsch, and Joey pointed out this eagle that was on his flash that I thought would fill the gap nicely, and he also thought would fill the gap nicely. This one took about an hour and it cost £160. Now after getting only 1 or 2 pieces at a time in sessions, I worked out that it may be better to like just book longer sessions actually. This meant that I could get a few tattoos at a time. I could also heal a few tattoos at a time, which is great because I absolutely hate healing tattoos. And also, it's a bit more cost effective, not to be like a stingy bastard about it, but it just is. So in November 2022, I then did a full day session. I got this axe that's on my wrist, got this dagger going through a heart on my forearm, got this old school boxer on the back of my bicep, and then this black and yellow cobra on my inner bicep, and then this TCB symbol as well. Getting tattooed all day, obviously it makes for like a really long day, and each time that I've done it, I felt a little bit like I was gonna die, but at the end of it, it's totally worth it. I mean, I didn't need to get too many more pieces after that, to be fair, to finish filling out this sleeve. So the total for all of these pieces together was £600. That's Joey's day rate, or it is when I'm filming this video. These things can change though. Tattoo prices can fluctuate depending on what's going on in the world, you know. Then about a month after that session, right at the end of December 2022, I went back to Joey to get the last few pieces I needed in order to finish this sleeve. I got these large coffin nails on the front of my bicep, and then these stars, and this little yellow flower filler on the back of my bicep, and then this butterfly that's right on my funny bone, and then I got this 13 with these swirly lines around it on my elbow. These pieces took about 3.5 hours, and all in cost me £300. So that was this sleeve pretty much finished. Then if we go to April 2023, I went back to Joey to do some more work, this time on my left arm. During that session, I got this eagle that's sitting on a skull that's on the top of my wrist. That was from Joey's flash sheet. I then got this cross that's on my outer forearm, this broken arrow that's just on my ditch, and this anchor that's on the front of my bicep. This was another 3.5 hour-ish session, and it cost me £300. Then in October of 2023, I decided that I hadn't really suffered for long enough for a while, and I decided to book another day session with Joey. During this session, I got this straight razor that's on my wrist, got this crawling panther that's on the back of my bicep, this massive gramophone that's on my inner bicep, then I got this black rose that's on my elbow. So those are quite a few difficult spots all in the same session, so it didn't make for a particularly nice time for me, but these are some of my favourite tattoos, so it's pretty worth it in my opinion. So this was another £600 for the day session. Then in April of 2024, this year, I went back to Joey to fill a few of the remaining gaps that I had on my left sleeve, and I got these holding hands, I got this love note, and this scythe with a spider web around it, then this little star, and then these 3 flowers here. This was £350 and took 3.5 hours. Then most recently, in October of 2024, I went to add the last few touches on my left sleeve with this diamond, and I got this XOX, I got this sheet music that's just by the swallow, I got these cherries, and I got this number 17. I also got this spider web that's on the top of my right arm to cap this arm off, and again, this was 3.5 hours and cost £350. Okay, so by my calculations, that comes out as £5,420. Nobody tell my wife. I'm kidding, she knows all about this. We've had many conversations about it. She bloody loves it. Right, so that's how much both my tattoo sleeves cost in total. I would love to know how much you guys have spent on tattoos. Feel free to let me know by dropping a comment below. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button and all of that other YouTube bollocks. If you like the music that you're hearing in the background, well, it was actually all produced by me. I've got another channel where I post beats/instrumentals that I've written for singers to use to write songs to, so if that is something that you are interested in, I'll put a link in the description below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.